I think we're live. Hello, everyone. Hopefully we are live and everything is okay. Hopefully everything's sounding okay. I'll just drag this across so we can see what's going on. Okay, hopefully this is good. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Kane's already in the chat. We got Scotty already in the chat. That should be good. Let me know if everything sounds good, looks good, what's going on. Basically, I'm haven't had time to set up the stream properly, so we're kind of running off the normal video scenes in OBS. So hopefully things aren't too bad, but we'll see. Let me just make sure that is good. Where are we? Sorry, a bit of a rush this week. Voice is a little scuffed. Okay, let's see if it's sounding a bit funky. Should be on the normal mic. Let me switch across to the team screen. That might be better with the proper microphone in place. Hopefully the music's not too loud either. I'm using it from the settings from some gaming stream stuff that I've done, so it might be a little bit funky, but if it is, just let us know. Just make sure this is good and got the thing so people know that we're live. I don't know how long we'll be able to roll through this evening. I don't know what time that Maddie and Hammer are starting, so I don't want to cut into overlap with those guys. But yeah, mainly just wanted to jump on with the schedule and some personal side of things this week. I'm not going to be able to do too much in the way of the normal video, but it kind of works out well because this week is one of the more basics in terms of what's going on. When I did start scripting and I'm writing down for the buy, sell, keep, avoid. I'm like, we're mainly looking at one guy to buy. There might be a couple I'll look at the most traded in and most traded out and go through that and do a little bit of a run through, kind of a live version of it. But yeah, everyone, we want to get in Parker Jackson Cartwright. He's going to be the most captain player any week this year, I would comfortably say. So there's not really too many other options. It's, I guess, mainly, hopefully it can be a little bit of questions, and I'll be able to voice what I'm planning or thinking of doing a little bit more, which might be good to say it out loud with everyone and have a bit of a chat and get some opinions on my moves. Got a couple of options, and yeah, we'll see where we're at. That off. Alright. Music too loud? Oh, yeah, perfect. No, that's fine. We don't even necessarily need the music. Yeah, running off the settings from old gaming stream stuff. Didn't have time to work it out. Let's just drop it right down. Let me know if that's okay or if we want to go on. But yeah, thanks very much, Julian, for that. And welcome. How you doing anyway? So for anyone watching in, this is basically this is my team from last week. I had a play around, but I always try to reset it to how it was, as if I was doing the normal video. That's how I do it there. So I thought I'll do the same thing for the stream. So we've got it reset. This is exactly how we lined up. Like a lot of people, wanted to have Taron Armstrong, but unfortunately he obviously couldn't do that. So I ended up going Rob Edwards instead, rather than getting funky and going cheaper and bringing in Jalen Adams or Xavier Cooks. Cooks would have been great. Yeah. Huge anus is a great shout. From ACR. Where are we? How do I put this guy in timeout? Let me see if I can actually put the chat on the stream so people can see a little bit better. It's been a while since I've done any kind of live stream. So we're going to be real rattled and funky, but create new chat. Yeah, sorry, it's a bit rattled. It's been one of those weeks, so if this goes all right, we might look to do it a bit more in the future. Get a little bit more chats, and perhaps a couple people on to talk a bit of shit as well. Hopefully it's not really the greatest setup at the moment, but at least then people can sort of see their names popping up. It always feels good when you see your name pop up on stream when you're watching someone. So here's the team that I've got at the moment. I'm looking at a couple options. It's probably going to be Davis and Galloway, or Davis and Harrell, to Menenga and PJC. Galloway does have the double next week, but I think Harrell's a better chance to hit the break even this week, and I can then just move him to maybe Xavier Cooks next week anyway. So we've got Jack White sitting there. He'll be back. If we trade out Galloway for Menenga, then we can play either White and bench Oliver, or play Oliver and keep White on the bench. I'd probably lean towards playing White over Oliver, but that's one option. There's a realm where I can go Harrell and Rob Edwards and keep Kendrick Davis this week and then do a trade next week. But I think in terms of break evens, Harrell's probably the best keep of the bunch. And yeah, Galloway, a little bit disappointing. He does have that double next week, but with Groves potentially back for both or at least one of the games, it might not be the best thing to still have him. So yeah, I wish he had a bit more opportunity and scored more this week coming, but anyway, that's fine. If anyone does have any questions, I don't think so. Only because Menenga's got that guaranteed role. He's starting, and not that it matters majorly because they've got Gillespie as well, but Dane Pinot, who, not that he's going to get huge minutes, but he's probably not playing at least the first game this week, so a little bit of extra points, hopefully, in the first round to get that cash gen boosted. Robertson, I really liked, coming even when the Kings signed him in our group chat. I put a bit of a thing about him in there and was pretty happy that he was going to be in the league, but he didn't really get the opportunity until Adams sort of being injured, and hopefully he's back. So yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. I don't think, but if you're going to bring in Robertson, you probably have to this week for that big cash jump. I think with the 3 doubles in a row and the best schedule for the rest of the year, I'd probably prefer Menenga. But Robertson isn't the worst player in the world. The best breaker after PJC and Menenga. Lopez isn't playing at least the first game, maybe not both this week, so he's out. Missing at least one game. So wouldn't be Lopez. I did like his game over in the NBA. He only played that first game though with the injury. So hopefully he misses both games this week, or he can play decently in the second game and have a good break even for next week where they still have back-to-back doubles. Old boy Mitch McCarron's not bad for like that cheap throw. Like, say if you, not Hickey, because I think he's going to be good for cash, but if you had a bunch of cash and you were going, say, a Henschel to McCarron, like looking at my team, and you were going up to PJC with someone else, don't mind that. I think Menenga's better than Jonah Bolden, but if they were the same price, maybe Bolden. He's, I think it was our good bud Pleb put out a good tweet about how when he has over, 25 minutes or whatever, he averages like he's never done it, but in his 20 to 25 minutes, he gets, I think, a 30-point average or something crazy for SuperCoach scores. So Bolden's not a bad shout. What's the deal with Kramer? No, that's it. He plays on that team with I think it's Simi Can't Stand You Bits. That's who that is, Sarah. Yeah. So yeah, what's the deal with Kramer? Yeah, we prefer Simi Can't Stand You Bits. Yeah, thoughts on Mooney? Mooney's one I've actually looked at in a potential situation of going the two guards and not going Menenga, instead of going, say, Galloway or Harrell, could be, to Menenga and Davis or Edwards up. Could go Davis and Edwards out for PJC and Mooney. I liked him in some of those NBL NBA games. We did have the stats, so he obviously played really well in one of them and kind of half decently in the others. But again, that was obviously in 48 minutes, not 40, and without the full squad for all of those games. They didn't have a game where everyone was playing. Someone was missing one, someone was missing another. So I don't think it's the worst move. I definitely wouldn't be getting him instead of PJC. I think everyone should and will be bringing in Parker Jackson-Cartwright this week. But if you wanted to boost to have someone, he's got 3 doubles in a row. And let's bring up that schedule. They obviously have the best run. They've only played 2 games when some teams have played 6. So they've got 18 games in, what have we got, 15 rounds? So, no, that's not right. 14 rounds maybe? So he could definitely be one to have double this week, not many others, and then you can play him on court, or eventually as your cash gen gets up, say you look at my team, we go Davis to PJC, Edwards to Mooney, and then in a couple of weeks when things get a little bit improved, we could maybe move like someone down, and a Hickey could go up to another guard, and then you can just bench Mooney and know you're getting someone on the double every week on the bench, which is not bad. It's obviously where you want to aim towards for the completed team. So yeah, don't mind Mooney. I've looked at it. I think cash-wise and potentially ceiling-wise too, with double-double threats, someone like a Menenga's probably better. But going against the grain, I think a lot of people are going to skip on Mooney, and he could put up some good scores. So if we look at, let's just see if this pops up if I switch across. Cool. All right, let me just move me over. Yeah, see, I don't mind a lot of this. Any of the guards here, you'd think they're going to Parker Jackson-Cartwright either in just a straight trade, or that's the team's only route to get there, so that's fine. Olbrich, if you maybe had the money and you're just moving him across to, say, Menenga or something, that's definitely good. He's been all right, but he just hasn't had many of those monster scores to really push the cash gen up, like what's going to happen with Will Hickey now. So yeah, Olbrich out if that's going to a Menenga or whatever you're doing to make some cash. Yeah, Mayan, I said a couple of weeks ago when everyone was looking to bring him in that he was an avoid, and yeah, he's really, really underperformed. And it looks like that's probably only going to get worse with, I think, Jarrell Martin's I think he's a slight chance this week. If not next week, he's probably going to have some minutes. So with talks that they're going to do their marquee behind the scenes, someone's going to be come off a marquee deal and they're going to send someone back to a DP role or whatever, and Harold being signed for the rest of the year. With all of those guys, Mayen's minutes are going to drop. Not drastically to start off with, so yeah, him being the avoid is fine. Getting rid of him. Now, we should obviously see the big boy here at the top. Obviously, if people haven't seen the news, it's not 100% confirmed, but it looks like it's, say, a 99% chance that Taron Armstrong's not going to play this week. So that will mean... Let me see, do I have the tweets? Okay, yeah, so that's just a couple of tweets that I had put together. So, yeah, Taron Armstrong's probably not going to play. Very, very slim chances, which is kind of good in that regard. It means that he's not going to have a price rise this week when everyone's scrambling to get, say, a Breakers or PJC and other Breakers or even Jack Jumpers. And we can bring him in for his double next week, hopefully fresh, back to 100%. So Taron Armstrong being traded in. If you haven't heard already, I'd be reversing that now unless you get concrete word that he's going to play and you really want to go for it. The other thing here is obviously Mick Randall reporting about Jalen Adams being right to play, hopefully, against Tasmania. Pleb did mention that he did Pilates a couple days ago and how much of a crazy experience that is. And if he's back and take Pilates, he should be fine to play NBL. So hopefully Jalen Adams is okay, which will bring up the question of if you're someone that has, say, Jalen Adams and Kendrick Davis, which one do you move for PJC if you've got the funds to do either? Julian asking about Gillespie. Let me go back to the team screen. Yeah, I don't mind it. I think that it's probably not as good as the others, but if you want to go that pod play, he's probably got something to prove. He didn't do too badly over in the US, and his second game here wasn't great, but how much is he worth? He's just import price, right? 277. Yeah, he should be. We'll have a look, but yeah, I think that he's definitely a differential play, but you probably want to go Menenga for that cheaper price and the hopeful cash grab, or even taking a punt on Jonah Bolden. But I mean, he's got a bit to prove. They're bringing Taco back with him as well, so is that something hanging over his shoulders of this guy's here? Are they just waiting for me to screw up and then they're going to get rid of me and replace me with Taco? I don't know. But yeah, you could do it. I'd probably prefer the others just for the cheaper price tag. Kane, what do we got here? So Davis, Edwards, and Ulbrich boosting out for PJC, Menenga, and Prather. Yeah. Is that boost 1 or boost 2, Kane? Don't mind that at all. Yeah, those are... especially if that's only maximum your second boost, those are great trades. So you've got Magne... So basically the same team as me, but just Magne over Galloway. Well, you're in definitely a better spot then. Yeah, if that's only the second boost, that's a great set of trades. You're gonna have cash gen out the wazoo with Prather and Menenga, and the best player to be bringing in PJC. Davis, huge break even, terrible schedule. Edwards, break even's not great. Without Armstrong, probably again this week, he's probably not going to be the best. So yep, another good trade. And Ulbricht's cash gen is very stunted. I like it. I like it a lot. It's something that I've been toying with as well. Do I pull the trigger on that second boost? And if I did, maybe it is I don't know if I'd go that Prather route as you, but maybe we do like a Harold Galloway, and yeah, one of the guards, probably Davis, out for PJC. Could even be PJC, Menenga, and I don't know if I'd go Magne, but yeah, I'm not sure. It's a niche one. I know that there's another gentleman in the chat that is you planning to use his first boost this week. Who's looking to boost? And if you are, I'm assuming that PJC is going to be one, maybe Menenga two. Who's the third player you're bringing in? A very good question there from ACL. Let's have a look and see ownership percentages in a couple of these players, because I'm going to have some previous seasons and just general NBL love bias for a couple of people. Mitch McCarron that I mentioned earlier, he's definitely one. And we'll just look at the teams on the double. All right. We're going to... Okay, yeah, so Mooney currently only in 70 teams, and he's being traded in by how many teams was that in the entire competition? So, and he's been traded in by 748 teams. So Mooney is still currently under 5%, even with all the trade-ins this week. Lopez would have been great from your earlier suggestion, but yeah, with him missing at least the first game and not sure what's going on there, we can't touch him. Max Darling actually got a whole bunch of burn over in the NBL NBA game, so I still don't think we grab him yet. We get, with the 3 doubles in a row and their awesome schedule, we get a chance to have a look at someone like him, and if he does well, we can jump on. Same with Sean Bairstow. He actually played really well in, I think, their 3rd game. Mojave King's an interesting one. He balled out pretty well in those NBL NBA games. I know he was with was it the Ignite or whatever, so he knows the NBA game or the American game a little bit better than a lot. So, but I liked him coming in, a bit of chip on the shoulder. He's shooting the ball a lot better, but we wait at least this week before jumping on. Yeah, so Jonah Bolden, 3.4% of teams. If we think he's going to get a bit more opportunity, he's probably a pod trade in. He's obviously owned more so than what Mooney is already, but definitely a pod option. I have seen some people also going for Jordan Crawford after his great showing against the Hawks, where he just couldn't miss from the 3. He definitely looked a lot better offensively, back to his best there. But the flag there is Milton Doyle historically doesn't play that well against the Hawks, or the Hawks defend him pretty well. So, yeah, Crawford going off is probably just a little bit of a side effect of that. And yeah, being at that game, every shot he put up was just, not only did most of them drop, but nothing looked like missing. He was just in the zone a bit there. So he's a bit of more of the pod option if you want to go more expensive. I suppose he's only 18,000 more than a Mooney, but the Jack Jumpers don't have the crazy, well, not crazy, but the better schedule that New Zealand have. So looking at my team here, what's people's thoughts? Boosting or not boosting? It would be the second boost, so that's not the worst, but there's a couple other big schedule runs that I might want to jump on with the boosts in a few weeks' time, particularly when the Wildcats have their crazy run of, let's just count it up. Yeah, I'm with you, Kane. I think he was definitely talked up a fair bit by quite a few people, actually, as a potential option this week. I did hear some saying they were going to go him pod instead of Parker Jackson Cartwright, which is, even if he didn't play shit in the week just gone, probably not the best idea. But yeah, it would be. It's the kind of chaos that you wish upon. Just the competition to make things a little bit more interesting. Obviously, plenty of people with the Jalen Adams last week, and injuries always throw up the big curveballs. But these performance ones, yeah, would be quite interesting if that was this week instead. Yeah, so we're looking at New Zealand with the 3 in a row, then 2 singles, then the 4 in a row. So that's pretty good. Yeah, it's that round 7 where Perth have the 5 doubles in a row. That might be a point where we want to look to boosting. Kind of lines up well if I hold on to Rob Edwards, because then he can go to Cotton. The Phoenix are one to keep an eye out for. See how things play out under Sam McKinnon. When the interim coaches, when the interim coaches come along, it can be like it's either going to be like the shackles off. Certain players are going to feel a bit more free and maybe get more opportunity. Could be like a Ben Air or something like that. Or it might even go the other way of extra pressure of people thinking, okay, so the coach is gone, am I next, sort of thing. Mainly the imports. It's very, very rare that we see locals that are contracted released without extreme cause. Like Dengadell with the Hawks a few years back. So I don't know if that'd be how Sobey feels, but some of the imports for sure. Not Matty Hurt, though. He's been great. Julian's using second boost. Davis, Harrell, Bradshaw to PJC, Menenga, and Mooney. Oh, yeah. If you held White and Magnay, that's awesome. Yeah, holding White was very key. If I had been able to get Magnay whenever it was a couple of weeks ago, I'd be holding him too. So, yeah, that looks really good. Is that bit of cash in the bank as well? Obviously, if it's Davis, Harrell, what's that? That's 640. And Bradshaw. Did Bradshaw get back to import level price after? That's because we are filtering with the teams. Not quite. So 247. Yeah, that should still be a little bit in the bank for the following week too, yeah? I like those trades, Julian. That's good. Yeah, Davis, Harrell, Bradshaw. Unlucky with Bradshaw too. He showed some good signs. And then, I mean, I know a lot of them didn't play well in that. Well, in a couple of their games, but particularly that Kings game. He looks like he has the pieces, just like a few players just can't quite get it. It is hard, I guess, when you are in a team that is without its lead point guard. And as much as a big Kyle Adnam fan I've been for many years, he's probably not at that level still to be leading a team as a first choice PG in the NBL. Yeah, too early to use the second boost? I don't think so. That's where I'm at. Do I do it? It's probably because there's not a third guy that I'm really, really keen on. If people need to boost in order to make their trades work to bring in PJC, yep. If you wanting to get that leg up and say it's like similar to what Julian's doing, bringing in PJC, Menenga, and Mooney, getting that leg up with the extra points, being aggressive to come back a little bit, I think that's fine. it's yeah. Looking at my team, it's a tough spot. Knowing there's the fixture swings to come, so it would be different if we were moving on to someone that also had a great one that wasn't just New Zealand. Yeah, see, Edwards might drop a little bit of cash. Davis might drop a little bit of cash, but I don't think either of those is on its own reason enough to boost one of them out for, say, a Mooney, just because of the cash issue, especially because he's probably not going to gain a lot, if anything. It's more so just for those extra points and having someone to sort of set and forget for at least a few weeks, maybe even the season. You might be able to park him on the bench after their good run over the next 3 weeks, when it then evens up a bit more and we got more teams on the double. Probably depends who the trade outs are, just as much as the trade ins, I think. And Julian will have 40k. Yeah, that's pretty good. So if you're going to have 40k in the bank for next week, where you might be able to make some moves. So you've already got White and Magne, so you can have White play on court along with probably Menenga. Magne be on court this week, then next week you switch. Yeah, so what are they? So they go double, single, then back-to-back doubles. Yeah, so if you've got, say, an Oliver on that you can be rotating with Magne, perfect. Obviously, Jack White's great to have. Yeah, the 40k, it could come down to, you might be able to do another downgrade upgrade to try and push for a Cooks for their back-to-back doubles, maybe. I think my team, let me just double check. I think I've got 100 in the bank. Yeah, just over 100k in the bank now. So part of me was, I did the trades to have that money for this week so that I could potentially do Rob Edwards instead of Davis out for PJC if, say, Davis actually performed a bit better. So I was thinking he was going to do a little bit better than he did, and his break even might be a bit more manageable. So he might have been the one to keep on the single rather than Edwards. But if I just do the 2 trades of whether it's Davis or Edwards and Harrell out to Menenga and PJC, that'll leave me plenty of money to maybe even go Kyron Galloway or someone else, along with some help with another trade to Xavier Cooks next week. So yeah, that was part of the thinking. So the cash in the bank, definitely handy. How does that look while we're live? And we may as well have a bit of a look to see how it works. So we go Davis, PJC. Yes, then still have 17k. So I definitely need the cash from one of the other moves to get, if I was going to do Edwards up to him. But then, yeah, this still allows us to afford Galloway down to Menenga. And then, yeah, I might even play... Oh, yeah, no, we just switch him with Harrell. Yeah, then we might even play Jack White over Cam Oliver on court instead. So we do Galloway to... Menenga. Yeah, it still leaves us with 66k in the bank, which is nice. Then that's a... If Taron Armstrong's back, that's probably a Edwards down to Armstrong next week and a Harrell up to Xavier Cooks. And then we've got Cooks, White, Menenga, PJC, and Armstrong as the starting 5, which would be pretty solid. We would need to get another guard in, though, with the Taipans only having that one double. But yeah, that's looking at that, that's not a bad option. Obviously, the other option is doing Harrell out instead. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so if that's how the team looks next week with those moves, I don't mind it. Don't mind it. Still got, not quite 24 hours, but still got a little bit of time to decide. The first game it's Breakers Brisbane, yeah? Yeah, Brisbane versus the Breakers. I guess one thing that I think it has been mentioned, but if not, we can just bring it up quickly. The potential jet lag and slow performances coming off these NBL NBA games with that big travel. Being New Zealand too, obviously having they're coming straight into that away game, then they got to travel from Brisbane back to New Zealand. Not necessarily ideal. I mean, for someone like a Parker Jackson Cartwright or some of the youngins, it's probably fine, but there might be some lagging in that first game. So if you're bringing in, even if it is PJC and everyone's got the captaincy on him, it doesn't really matter. But if you're bringing in some of these New Zealand guys and they're a bit slow out of the blocks against Brisbane, I probably wouldn't stress too much. Kind of like Xavier Cooks last week, he saying that he's probably going to have if he doesn't have the best first game, he'll bring it home in the second, which he did. It's probably going to be something like that. They'll take a little bit of time to readjust, get their legs back underneath them. But yeah, so don't fret if you see some lower scores from the Breakers in game one. But I don't think so, because they're playing Brisbane, who are one of the worst teams in the league. So you mean for my team, Kane? Yeah, that's probably what I'd be doing if I go this route. And trade out Galloway. I'll bench Oliver for White. If I trade out Harrell though, I'll play Oliver instead of Galloway. So I think if Galloway goes, Oliver gets to go to the bench. He's not hitting those heights that he did for the Taipans. Obviously, he's playing a different role. He's really liking the outside shot, which has been up and down. He was hitting it. He just needs to get inside and get more of those boards. The athletic Cam Oliver that's just getting double threat every week, dunking over everyone. Obviously, he's not going to be that same guy in that Kings lineup with someone like Xavier Cooks there, but still, he's just not quite who we thought he might have been. So yeah, I think that's the call. If this is these are the trades I go with, Oliver goes to the bench. Who is the King? Yeah, so the Kings have got. Who the Kings got this week? The Kings play. They play Tasmania down in Tasmania. So going up against Magnay. Whereas Melbourne have got the Phoenix, who Jack White could really feast on. Yeah, that's definitely the way I'd go. We play White over Oliver, and Adelaide playing Tassie too. But yeah, Montrez is he should be constant double, and he one rebound off last week before he got pulled off with a couple minutes to go in that blowout to game against United. Yeah, him and White over Oliver for sure. Is anyone looking to trade in to Magnay if you don't already own him? It's probably a boost unless you've got a lot of cash or you're going to trade out someone like a Cooks and Adams to bring in PJC and Magnay. But it is one that I potentially looked at, but it would be Harrell, Davis, and I think I had to trade either Oliver or it was... Yeah, I think I had to trade Oliver in that instance, but I don't know if it's worth it with the single next week. If they had back-to-back doubles too, would definitely be interested, but not with just the one single. All right, cool. So I was just checking what time Maddie and Hammer were going to be going live. Still got a little bit of time, over an hour, but I won't go for that long though. But I just didn't want to be cutting in and overlapping there, so that's fine. If anyone has any other questions or anything, let me know. We might have a look at some other trade options here while I'm sitting here. Yeah, so this is oh no, that's the wrong page. Yeah, this is probably the most likely scenario going in with Galloway's break even at 25. He probably doesn't lose heaps of cash, which is fine. But I just don't think that he's going to score that that well. Not with how we saw over their double. Obviously he's got a ceiling, but a bit risky with the Adam Ford roller coaster. In hindsight, obviously, AK Gak was probably the one to go for. But we had the same situation last year where Gak got some opportunity, looked great, and then he gets benched and someone else is in favour. So it is a bit tricky to predict. It's kind of like in FPL, the Pep roulette. It's the Ford roulette. So a little bit disappointed, but definitely could have gone worse. He made a little bit of money. Scored somewhat okay. Not as much as Hickey in one game, but still. It's a Mooney break even of 52, and Gillespie was 50 something as well. Yeah, 58 for Gillespie. Just looking at a couple of these other New Zealand options. Yeah, probably not going to be worth it. Hopefully Menenga can go really well in this round. So 25, like he'll go up in cash. Just how high can he get to? Hopefully he can put up around his average, go 40 plus. Make that trade a little bit worthwhile, being able to start him and justify the cash gen over going say a Bolden or yeah, probably not Gillespie. Yeah, I think this is the most likely scenario of trades. Boost, and we get what, an extra 10k in the bank and a double from Mooney. I just don't think it's worth the boost for my team anyway. Edwards has got the double next week, hopefully with Armstrong back. If he goes as projected, his break even's only 49 on the double. Hopefully, with his main PG, he should hit that. And then we can just ship him off after that double. Yeah, I think this is going to be my most likely scenario. Global, welcome, mate. We're just going over some trade scenarios here for my team. Any questions or thoughts you've got for yours? Let me know. Happy to answer and help out as much as possible. But yeah, this is probably the trades that I'm looking to make, which is Davis and Galloway out for PJC and Menenga. Could also go Harrell and Rob Edwards, or Harrell and Davis, but yeah, I think Galloway, the fact that he didn't go huge in this double makes it tough to hold him for the next double as well. He's probably going to not increase in cash either at all or as much as we'd have liked bringing him in. So he can go. Harrell's got the more manageable break even and the higher scoring potential, so I can keep him on the single. A lot of people are probably going to be trading him out, so he might end up being a little bit of a pod. Probably not drastically, but slightly. So we can go with that. And then in this situation, I'll also probably be fielding or playing on court Jack White over Cam Oliver as well. So let's just make those moves, just see how things look. We obviously put the C on you. You're the only other one on the double, so you have to put the VC on you, and it would be Jack White on court. So that's not too bad, that lineup. And then with the cash in the bank, probably looking to move. Yeah, so mentioning earlier, we go Harrell and Edwards to potentially Taron Armstrong and Xavier Cooks. And that's not a bad look next week. Oh yeah, I feel for you. Yeah, one of my good mates who I I actually brought up in our Podmasters chat. Yeah, he traded in Cooks, had both Cooks and Adams, captain Adams, and was furious. So definitely feel your pain. It's I don't think it's as killer season over as some people might be making it out to be. It's definitely not ideal, and I definitely know after I captained Tyrell Harrison for his 13 or whatever in round 1, and he's gone 40, 20, 40, 40, whatever he's done in the last few weeks. But yeah, it's not ideal. You can definitely come back from it. I think the good news is he's hopefully okay to play, and if that's the case, unless you have to trade him to get PJC and you can trade your other guard, I think he's a strong hold if we get word before Thursday that he is playing. They've got the back-to-back doubles after that. If he's back to full fitness, hopefully he just didn't play that well. Well, he obviously didn't get a chance to play out the games, but he didn't play that well because of the injury. But yeah, it might be some, some silver lining to having Adams. Obviously not the captain last week, but if you've got him because of that, a lot of people are going to trade him out, so keeping him could be a pod play. Yeah, I think if we got concrete word that he's playing before you have to make the Parker Jackson Cartwright trade on Thursday night, if I had him, I'd probably keep him and move on my other guard, whether that's a Davis or, in my case, Edwards or whatever. But yeah, that is rough. I know I brought it up a couple times in my pre-recorded videos, but yeah, last year, round 2, or was it round 1 or round 2? I can't remember. Might have been round 2. I captained, Tyler Cook, who was coming off that great blitz, won the player of the tournament, looked really, really good, and he got injured in the first game 4 minutes in on 10 points. So 10 points on the double versus everyone else that was captaining people like, might have been Cottons or Mitch Creek or whatever, and yeah, it definitely hurts. We got Corey Blackledge, one of the legends, always around the fantasy chats. Do I trade Galloway or Oliver as Harrell going to hurt for me next week? Are you going to be holding the one you don't trade next week as well? So, or will the other one get traded as well next week? I think if you're holding the one that you're not trading, then I'd trade Galloway and keep Oliver. I'm looking to trade Oliver out of my team. Oh, yeah, the Adams captaincy is definitely a killer. I guess on the flip side, it could have been a lot worse. Harrell looked phenomenal in that first game, and even in the second game. I know I have said it a couple times on Twitter, but yeah, the scoring system, I get why they made the changes because it was so big dominated, before, but now it's just too guard dominant. Like Harrell went, what did he have? 14-9 with some offensive rebounds, and he got a score in the teens, or whatever it was. Like it's just not good enough, which is a shame. But Yeah, so it could have been a lot worse. I had the captaincy on Harrell, and I mean, he was my equal highest scorer with Lepepe on the bench, but it definitely could have been a lot worse, that difference. What was it, 40? Was it 12? So 45 points in the end. Definitely recoverable, that's for sure. But yeah, if you're keeping the person that you don't trade in that scenario next week too, I'd be trading Galloway and keeping Oliver. I think even if you're not, I'd probably rate Oliver a higher scoring chance this week than Galloway anyway. So yeah, maybe that's just the answer. Trade Galloway out of those two. Oh yeah, Rocco. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame for owners there. He's not one that I didn't start with him. I just thought with their schedule, it's a long, slow burn. But he definitely showed some glimpses. It is a shame. I guess the good news is now that New Zealand's coming back, we might see some more options. I was saying earlier in the stream, like Max Darling got a whole bunch of burn over in the NBL, NBA games. Even Sean Bairstow had a bit of a run. I think he started in their last game. So I know they want to showcase some of the younger talent. Well, mainly younger with Bairstow, but they're both 69k, I'm pretty sure. So we might have some options pop up this week that we see that we can trade into next week. So hopefully that helps you with Rocco and Henschel. Unless you can have a bunch of cash and you could do, say, a Harold to Hurt and a Henschel to Taron Armstrong when he's back next week. That might work. While you're here too, Corey, a bit of a story for you. I know you're obviously in the AFL Fanatics, AFL Fantasy Fanatics. You're in the chats there with Bales and whatnot. So I was live fourth in AFLW Fantasy. In that first double week, and had the captaincy on Davey, and then concussed on the 33. So things went downhill there, and slowly clawing that back. Still not anywhere near as high as I was, but so the Adams captaincy can definitely be clawed back. You brought in Prather last week. Yeah, that was good. He's someone that I will obviously have liked previously in the NBL. He's been a star, but their schedule just really scared me off. It probably in the end has worked out maybe worse in the long run, going someone like a Henschel. If Hickey can tick a little bit further, then maybe not Hickey, but yeah, someone like an Olbrich Henschel instead of Prather. He's made more than I thought he would have by this point, at least at the start of the year. But yeah, great get last week. You can ride a bunch more price rises, and I mean, to be fair, if nothing crazy happens to him, you can just keep him now. Obviously, they have the shit schedule until round 9, but from round 9 to round 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what's that? 10 game weeks. They have 9 doubles out of the 10. So yeah, great get last week, and he's definitely a keeper for, well, probably the rest of the year until those last 2 weeks. But hopefully he's made a whole bunch of cash. Obviously that's not ideal with Hickey going really well last week. But what he did then is why he was the first pick player that I had in the team when the game opened. Like, I'm a Hawks fan, and the amount of times and the effort and the hustle, which is a big plus for my side of things for the enjoyment, but that he puts in, I'm thinking, now this guy, he's going to have he's got more experience under his belt. He went over and did the 3x3 stuff. He's just going to be so much more confident. Tatum's going to have a lot more trust in him. I thought, not to say that I think he's going to do what he did against the Jack Jumpers every week, but I probably thought he was more of a 18 to 25 a game guy. Whereas, well, before last week, he hadn't, except for the blitz, he hadn't cracked 20, I don't think. Yeah, he had 30 on their double. So, yeah, he's been average. So trading him out definitely wasn't the wrong call. The right decision can have the wrong or less ideal outcome. Unfortunately, I don't think Hickey's going to do that every week, though. Prather was definitely a good get. Ah, okay, that does change things a little bit. It's definitely so are you the only difference is just if it's Oliver or Galloway, your guard trade out's still the same for assumingly PJC. Yeah, if that's the case and there's no one you really love, you could probably get away with just doing Oliver instead and hope that Galloway not goes back to those huge scoring ways, but he can last this week and into next as well, and then you move him on at what's this week? Week round 5. You move him on in round 7. When I brought in Galloway, probably the same as you, thinking that we'll hold him for this week just gone, this week obviously the single now, and then hold him for the double. So it's not the end of the world having to keep him. We've seen that he can put up numbers. It's just, can he get a certain amount of minutes with a forward rotation? Okay, so it's Davis out regardless. Yeah, unless you're really, really keen on the third trade that you'd make with the boost to be able to get Galloway to Menenga and whatever the third trade is, you can probably save that boost. Because Oliver versus Galloway this week, with how Oliver's been playing, it's probably going to be like 15 points at the most difference, hopefully, between them. So that's not too crazy. And if that's the only reason that you'd be using the boost for, it's probably not worth it. So yeah, maybe then if the cash is an issue, then we change it and go Oliver out instead of Galloway. That was so that's the moves that I probably most likely will be making. Could also be Harrell and Edwards instead, or it could be Harrell and Davis instead. Yeah, then I think that if that's the case, just save that boost. It'd be different if you were, say, the boost was bringing in, it was going to be like a PJC and Menenga, and you were going to get someone like a Magnate, or you were really keen on a Jordan Crawford or a Matt Mooney or something. I think that's different, but when you're only doing it to facilitate like a downgrade that hopefully won't be too different in points, it's probably not worth it. At least one, like we do know that Tanner Groves is missing. I think the whole round, definitely the first game, but they put out, was it last week that it was a 2-3, or 2 weeks ago they did it was 3-4, whatever. So I hope that's obviously a good thing for Galloway still. I know it didn't pan out incredibly well last week, but definitely not a disaster if you're keeping him to save the boost. We'll have a quick look at just a quick look at the trade ins and outs, see if there's anything that is the only thing was, anyone, if you haven't heard, don't be trading in Tarrant Armstrong this week. He is 99% not going to be playing, so If you've already traded him in because you want the cash rise, you need to reverse that. Everyone else, Kendrick Davis being the 10th most traded in is niche, especially when he is also the number 1 most traded out. But I guess that's all coaches. If you look at top, maybe do top 5%. People bring in Matt Hurt early. Interesting. Still a lot with the Taron Armstrong trading is not ideal. Hopefully they're just people that made the trade early and they just haven't had a chance to see the news or reverse it yet. Yeah, Galloway and Oliver being right there next to each other. It's a pretty evenish call, but at least for the next couple of weeks. So I think you're fine there, man. Well, we might wrap things up soonish. Yeah, obviously, with some of the work and personal stuff going on, we couldn't quite get the normal video up. But like I said at the start of the stream, it's probably not the worst week for that to happen anyway. This is not a big variance week, where we've got many captain options or heaps of different trade options we might be looking at. It's pretty much, you got to bring in PJC, you got to captain him, and then you're bringing in Menenga or you're bringing in Bolden or whoever, Mooney or whoever else instead. So this was just more, wanted to make sure I got something out to have a bit of a chat with people, hopefully answer a few questions and let people know what I'd be looking to do. So let's just jump back here. We will remove that. So as things stand, and unless we get news of anything over the next, less than 24 hours, this is probably how we're going to line up for this week. Oh, yeah, next week for 100%. This is what I've been looking forward to, this break where things start to branch off and we have heaps of teams on the double. We've got a few different schedule runs to jump on. I'm very excited about the differentiating of some teams starting, kind of this week, but definitely next week. Looking at the schedule, you've got the Phoenix and United having the 3 doubles in a row. The Kings and Jack Jumpers have 2 out of 3. New Zealand, they have 1 now, so they got their 3 in a row. And then we're getting close to that Perth 5 in a row. So obviously, if a lot of people are probably going to want to, and if they can, have the backcourt pairing of PJC and Cotton, the only issue with that is that for 2 weeks, PJC's on the single. So you'd probably want to have so who is it? The Bullets, the other team 1 week, and then you've got United, Sem, and the JJs. Well, obviously the week for the Bullets, if you've got having Prather, like Corey does, is perfect. Looking ahead, you could have the Cotton PJC double up, and then you just need to cover PJC for 1 week with someone from either United or the Phoenix or the JJs. Or Perth too. Maybe if Henschel can pull his finger out and he's getting the opportunity, he might be able to cover PJC for a week. But yeah, there's definitely some interesting options people can go. Because in round 7, I doubt there's going to be any or many teams that'll be able to have Cotton, PJC, Cooks. Still, people should have Jack White, but yeah, how people are going to have all of those pieces is going to be interesting. It's going to be who's going to have which 2 and who's going to go well. So yeah, I'm with you, man. It's going to start to open up, and I'm very much looking forward to that. It's probably one of the weaker points of the less player pool that we obviously have, and it's a smaller team size, but with how the schedule's gone to start this year and how it often goes because of the Australian Open, so the Melbourne-based teams have the better earlier runs, and the NBL NBA always throws chaos into it. So there's a lot of similarities with teams, which is fine, but it's a lot more fun when things open up a bit more and there's more variance and a little bit more to talk about, basically. If anyone's in the chat and has any other questions or anything like that, let me know. We might wrap it up in a couple of minutes, and hopefully we'll have a bit of news on for those Jalen Adams owners. Hopefully you find out before Thursday before Thursday night when the game's on. So he plays Friday, I'm pretty sure. So hopefully we know before the PJC lockout if you do need to trade him or not. It is a shame that there isn't the edit trades function. Obviously you can reverse the trades, but you can wait, no, hang on. No, you can do that. Oh no, you might still be able to do that. Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm just talking shit. It's been a long week already. I'm just double checking. Don't think it missed anything from the chat. No. Yeah, if no one else has any other questions or anything, we might wrap up there. If you still want to be watching out some fantasy content tonight, the guys, Maddie and Hammer from Insight, will be live. I think I checked and they're going live at 9:30. So definitely jump on there. And yeah, obviously the guys, they'll talk some shit as well, give a bit more advice. This week's obviously a little bit, simpler in terms of PJC. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Corey. I was like, for a minute, I went, no, you can't. You can only do it. But yeah, it should, because it's on the SuperCoach format. I'm thinking the old format / a bit of AFLW from the last few weeks. So yeah, that's a fair call. So perhaps it's not the end of the world if you trade out, say Davis for PJC, and then we find out Friday that Adams isn't going to play. You just edit that trade. But I guess it could change your plans if you know, say Adams is playing, you might do something different with your other trade. But anyway. Thank you very much. Thank you, Crafty. It's a name similar of me, the Crafty Fat Boy. Wyatt, Harold, or Menenga? Well, I think you got to play the odds with Menenga being on the double. I think he's a safer chance. Well, he's probably more likely to get 220s than the others of getting 40 if I had to put my money on either. They're both definitely very capable. I think out of Harrell and White, if I had to pick, I'd probably bench Harrell if your team works that way. So they've got Tasmania at home, and yeah, White's going up against the Phoenix, who yes, they're probably going to have that new coach or the new manager bounce as it is in FPL or in AFL. You know, the new coach, the interim coach usually gets the win that first week. But yeah, I think I'd bench Harrell of those three. Reluctantly, because, you know, we know how he can go 16 and 15. But if he's not getting those peripheral stats, that's probably only a high 30s, low 40s anyway. So Menenga's the better chance, I think. But appreciate the feedback, though. This is the first stream I've done for the fantasy style content. Obviously, I mentioned a bit earlier in the tweet that I didn't have the chance and not going to have the chance to get the proper video done this week. So still wanted to get, my moves out there, answer a few questions and whatnot. Yeah, that's the thing. But like any of the fantasy sports, it's always the curse. You know, whoever you bench, they're going to go big. But I think that the other way to look at it is, I know White did have that one average game, but White should have a pretty good floor with his, obviously his great skill set and the scoring ability against the Phoenix. And the same with Menenga. Like, even if Menenga only goes, say, 15 in one game, he just needs to go 25 in the other, and that's pretty achievable. So yeah, those two are probably the play. It is a shame. Who's your other big? Have you got a Magne already? Yeah, I think this is how we line up. Just hope Edwards has a game similar to his first one, not his second one of the double that's just gone, and doesn't drop too much in cash, so that he can work for their double next week without me having to trade him. Oh, Cooks! Oh, even better, even better. No, that's a great lineup. The only other thing I could say is, if you have some kind of sentimentality of wanting to play Harrell, his probably his last chance for a couple of months on court, because with their schedule, he's going to be not really viable until, when do they have, if he's still around, which it sounds like he will be. When's their next double? So they don't have a double again until round 11. So if you want to look at it in a give him one last hurrah, that's probably the main case I'd make for playing Harrell over Menenga or White. But no, I think the better way is going Menenga and White. Oh yeah, Kelly Luape Pepe Le Pew. He's yeah, Matty nailed that one. Yeah, oh he's talking about being a beast. He is a beast. He's just, obviously, he's still getting better and better. Gorge has got the trust in him. He's doing all the right stuff. So hopefully he's a season, or close to a season-long keeper, or at least until he gets up quite significantly in cash and he becomes a easy sideways trade to a premium. Yeah, like, just looking at the schedule, who knows? We might be able to hold him for another, what's that, 5 or 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks or whatever, and then in round 11, when the Bullets go on their run of 9 double or 8 doubles in a row, whatever it is, could hopefully he's made enough cash. He might be able to go Liape, Lepepe, Lepew into like a Harrison, just a straight sideways trade. My only gripe about him, though, is I haven't he's the betting sites haven't got him really in many markets I've seen so far yet. There's been a few times wanted to get on him for the 4 rebounds or 6 rebounds or whatever, but he's not there. Yeah, so we might wrap up. I know I said that a few minutes ago, but if if no one's got any other questions or anything, or any other thoughts, we'll probably wrap things up shortly. Like I did mention, if people aren't following already, the guys at Insight Fantasy Sports, Hammer and Maddie, they'll be live, I think, in about half hour or so. If I did read that right, I think that's my time and not their time, because I know or at least Matt is in Queensland. Actually, what I'll do as well is I'll drop the link to their stream if you're not following them already. Make sure. Couple of great guys. Plenty of entertainment, as I know a couple of you, well, Crafty and Scotty, you guys are. I see you in their chats as well, so you know what they're like. But anyone else that is watching, if you want some more content, particularly tonight and particularly live content, in about half an hour or so, they'll be on. So that link is for their stream now. Obviously, they're not live yet, but you can be jumping there waiting. Aside from that, I think we can do one last little quick news roundup, although most of the stuff that I am seeing is all about the trade period or the AFL stuff. So we're missing a lot of things. Just to see if there's been any updates on either Jalen Adams or Taron Armstrong's most likely out. So yep, no, the feed is just full of not only the trade stuff, but then you've got the teams posting highlights, the new teams, the old teams putting the farewell and thank yous and all that sort of stuff. But anyway. So yeah, we'll probably wrap this up. Thank you everyone that's still in the chat, anyone that was in the chat earlier, jumped in. If anyone's watching this back, appreciate it. Basically, yeah, didn't have the opportunity to get the normal video out this week. The next couple of weeks, hopefully we should be back to normally scheduled programming where it'll be a little bit more important to have the different options. So we'll get that sorted. Good luck everyone. Keep an eye out for the news, particularly if you're a Jalen Adams owner. Hopefully we find out tomorrow, but I dare say it's probably not going to be until Friday. So be wary of that. Make sure you're getting in PJC. I know that everyone said it. Didn't know that. So don't know if there's anyone that's going to try and do the pod play. I think this is one you just can't. If there was more teams on the double that we were captaining, I think you could, but no, he's got to come in. He's got to have the C. And then even if it turns to shit, we're all in it together. So that's probably the way to go. Yeah, sorry, Matt. It was a bit of an interesting one. Only chucked it on. Yeah, it's been a bit of a kerfuffle with work and personal stuff this week. So you can definitely skip through or put it on faster speed, I reckon, if you're watching the replay. But appreciate that, mate. Yeah, it was mostly just talking about the moves that I'm going to be making, answering a few of the questions and going through some of the players. But yeah, this is where I'm probably going to be looking at for this week. Bring in Menenga and PJC for Kendrick Davis and Kyron Galloway. Hopefully, hopefully that's how we go. Could vary, but anyway, that's fine. If you've got any questions, mate, or if anyone watching this back or still in the chat now but hasn't put it in the chat wants to ask any questions, feel free. You should still be, when this goes up, when it uploads as a video, it might still be in the live tab, but wherever you see it on the channel, you should still be able to put normal comments on. You can drop a comment on this once it's showing the replay. Otherwise, yeah, on Twitter or X, you can definitely reach out. I'll try and answer as much as I can. Another busy day for me tomorrow, but I'll still have the couple hours. And when I can during the day, I'll try and answer stuff. But yeah, I'll definitely have the couple hours before lockout. That first game to hopefully be helping. But yeah. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the only thing I've noticed. I do, well, not as much. I haven't been doing as much lately, but been doing some gaming stuff as well with a different channel. And sometimes the notifications, even if you have them on, it only does it for certain things or, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, appreciate it, mate. Hopefully I don't know how many more streams we'll do. If people like this format, I probably wouldn't do a stream and a video each week, but maybe we might do every couple of weeks or a few weeks. We might do the normal videos plus a stream. A couple of my good mates interested, or one has been definitely interested. The other one I'm semi-forcing to be interested as well, about jumping on and talking some shit too, which would be good. And some of the other community guys we might be able to get on if we can work out how to do it too. So if anyone's watching this back, let me know. Do we like the live format? Do we want to see more stuff like that, or maybe with other people, like obviously, when I'm on the SuperCoach Hub, or the guys at Insight do? Let me know. Again, any questions, drop them in the comments. Hopefully it works after it's uploaded. It should just be like a normal video. You just drop the comments, I should be able to see it. Or hit me up on Twitter, X at @FantasyPhoenix_. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. That link that I've got in the chat, if you've just come in, is for the Insight stream, where Maddie and Hammer should be live in about half an hour. So definitely jump over if you weren't going to be already. Tune in to the guys. They'll have a bit of banter and some shit talk going on as well. And yeah, yeah, that's about it, I reckon. Just double checking I haven't missed anything. No, I appreciate that, Matt. Yeah, it's hopefully, like I said, I've done some streaming with gaming stuff before. It's usually good. It's a bit more interactive. Appreciate being able to talk to people. Like, I said it with a couple of the guys, when we've jumped on and done the SuperCoach Hub podcast. We're talking in group chats and stuff on Twitter, and we've got like all our back and forth, just comments and on posts and stuff. But when you're actually talking to people live, it's definitely a little bit better. Obviously it's quicker to interact, easier to go back and forth, more enjoyable too. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Check out the Insight guys later on tonight. Good luck, and yeah, hit me up if you've got any questions. Hopefully PJC delivers beautifully for us all, and then we can really start to get into the fun stuff when things start to diverse next week. Oh, Matt, this is that Matt. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, sorry, just before I jumped off, yeah, I was listening to the replay of the Insight show from, was it last night or the night before? I was listening to that today whilst doing some work stuff, and yeah, when they were talking about how you're killing it, I now know that that's you. Yeah, absolute. Oh, if yeah, I've been a long time Kyle Adnam lover since his sort of his time as a DP at the Hawks, but yeah, definitely when he was playing at the Kings, and then definitely when he was at Melbourne United. So I would have done the same thing if I brought him in. I would have played him for sure. But that just shows. That means you got that good squad. Before I jump off, I can quickly. Hey, to be fair, looking at your team though, like Illy only got 4 more points, so that's fine. That's fine, mate. Nah, that's the good-looking squad. Very good-looking squad. Hopefully, it all goes well. Oh, yeah, I like it. Hopefully, you can hang on, mate. Well, you got to be able to brag. Like, how often do you get to number 1 in any of the stuff? Like, I think the best I've been, I've been in the top 10 in the old the old NBL format, but I think in the AFLs, the highest I've been has been maybe double figures. So, yeah, when you're hitting number 1, you got to brag. You got to do it. Make sure you save. You've got it screenshot. So no matter what happens, you've always got the I was number one. All right, I've taken up enough of your time, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, drop questions in the comments once this is uploaded as the replay, or hit me up on Twitter, and hopefully be able to get to them all quickly before the first lockout tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully everything goes well. Good luck. And yeah, I'll be lurking in the Insight stream. So whether I'm chatting, I don't know if I'll be able to chat depending on if I'm watching on the TV or not. But yeah, we'll catch you in there. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you next week.